Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? Life is good. As you can see, I got an organizer made. I got two of them made, in fact, this weekend. And I'm not happy with them. It is what it is. I have them. They're done. They work. They hold these Harbor Freight containers very nicely. I'm just not happy with the way they went together. I had a plan. I had a great plan in Fusion 360. I designed this whole thing, so I had a great cut list. My cut list turned out perfect. I had to have the sheet cut at Home Depot, so I knew where I was going to have them rip it so that I could get the maximum usage out of the plywood. I only had a very small piece of plywood left over. That all went great. The problem is the way I joined it all together. I'm just not happy with it. As you can see, I used screws. This is 1/2-inch plywood and screws that are, roughly a half the thickness of your plywood is not an easy thing to put in. And because of that, I had some blowouts and I had to re-drill. And I didn't use glue on this one because I was frustrated by that point with the way they were going together. I used glue on the first one. The problem is the way I assembled it made it very difficult to put together. I wasn't thinking straight. So I had this plan in place. I had all of this detail work to make sure I could maximize my wood usage. This is not Harbor Freight, Home Depot Sandy plywood. Sandy, S-A-N-D-E plywood, Sandy ply. This is like a hardwood veneered plywood that has minimal core voids. And I must say that for the price, I do like this. This is not the Baltic birch plywood that you'll see people on YouTube talking about. This is not, I wouldn't consider this to be cabinet grade plywood, but it's pretty close. And for a 1/2-inch sheet, it was like $35, which is about $10 less than the Pure Bond or any of the other higher grade plywoods. I don't know what kind of veneer this is on the outside, but it's maybe a 32nd of an inch. It's super thin veneer that tears out very easily. You can see that here. Probably there's a lot of fuzz. I don't have a zero clearance insert. Here you can see some of the mistakes I made that I had to re-drill, and this one I just said screw it and didn't put a thing in it. So I wish I'd have done them differently. I think, yeah, there's more than enough side-to-side room here. I could have done even just an 1/8-inch dado. Just to locate the shelves would have been great. A small dado on all of these pieces and brad nails and glue would have been the correct solution. So it's done. I filmed it. I filmed the whole thing. But whether or not I post a video, I don't know. We'll see. It left me kind of frustrated that something as simple as a 3-shelf organizer bin, I couldn't pull it off the way that I wanted. And so, for that reason, I'll probably post the video, let's be honest, but I'm not happy with it. I would like a do-over, and I might get a do-over. My friend Aaron saw the post on Facebook of the two side by side, and he said, I want a set, how much? And I told him, give me $20 and a sheet of plywood and I'll make them. Granted, it took me more than a couple hours, so $20 is light. Like, I should charge a lot more. But the fact of the matter is, if he says yes, which I think he's going to, I will reshoot that and use that as my video for these. I don't hate them. And once they're back where they are, I'll put a picture up here. Once they're back in their place, you can't see the mistakes. The one I somehow mixed up, the one on the left, I somehow mixed up the front and back edges of that top and bottom ply. So there are some voids showing. But, once they're in place, you can't see how bad they are. The only one that really stands out is the one on the end when you walk in, and the one by the miter saw. The one by the miter saw, we'll be building a new miter saw enclosure. So that'll get covered up by that. You won't see that ever again. But ultimately, they're useful. I'm glad I have them. I can start filling the bins up now. I haven't started to do that yet. They're all empty still. That was Saturday. I made those. Sunday, I had a really bad headache the entire day. And I pretty much just stayed on the couch all day and played some video games and relaxed as much as I could. Finally got rid of the headache this morning at about 4 o'clock. I woke up and I still had a mild headache, and I took some more ibuprofen. Haven't had a headache since. So that got done. I have more plywood. I ended up buying 2 sheets of the 1/2-inch plywood and a sheet of 1/4 inch. The 1/4 inch is what I'm going to use to make my surround for the miter saw. That's what I used the first time. I'm just going to make it better this time. The first attempt was pretty bad. So I'm going to build a new surround for the miter saw. Have some other plans for some 1/2-inch projects in the works. But ultimately, organizers got built. They're going to get used. Whether or not I'm happy with them doesn't really matter because they're just in my shop. They're just shop furniture. And I might just spackle all those screw holes, or maybe even leave them and just paint them. I don't really have a theme in here. Like, I know some people have workshops where they paint everything gray or they paint everything green or whatever. I don't have a theme. I have old and used is the theme, I think. Like, most of the shop furniture in here, now that I'm looking around, almost all of it is reclaimed and recycled stuff, besides the miter saw bench, which I built out of brand new material. Everything else is just reclaimed, recycled stuff, and it's all mixed matched, and none of it's painted. It's all just wood. So I don't know if I'll paint them, but maybe I will, and that will hide a lot of the crimes. We'll see. Ultimately, though, they're going to serve their purpose, which is more important to me than how they look. But, you know, it is what it is. Sometimes you do something and you think you know what you're doing, and then you attack it and realize part the way through that you did it the wrong way the first time. I attempted to fix that the second time through when I built the second one. I built the first one as a learning experience. I filmed it just in case. Built the second one as the video to post, and I think I made more mistakes on the second one, even though it went together smoother. I think I made more mistakes on the second one, but the video of the second one will be cleaner. I don't know if that makes any sense, but we'll see. I'll edit it, and I'll post something, even if it's just me talking about them. I'll put it together. So that's what I have for you today. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends, being wonderful people. I appreciate you, and I will see you tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from Wikipedia. Do huntsman spiders make webs? As adults, huntsman spiders do not build webs, but hunt and forage for food. Their diet consists primarily of insects and other invertebrates, and occasionally small skinks and geckos. They live in the crevices of tree bark, but will frequently wander into homes and vehicles.